Welcome, everybody, back to the Sam McKee Memorial Broadcast Set. Dave Little with you. Now, the gentleman sitting to my right, you might not recognize the face, but you're sure to recognize the voice. I'm joined by Roger Huston. Roger, thanks so much for spending a couple of minutes with us.
Dave, it's a pleasure to always be with you.
Now, you are known as the voice of the Little Brown Jug, and you're a little bit past retirement age. We'll leave it at that. How many Little Brown Jugs in a row have you called?
56.
56 Little Brown Jugs. So you got that job when you were in your mid to late 20s.
I was 25, 26 years. The first year I was at Delaware, I didn't call the jug.
Right.
My first jug, I think, was in 68.
Right.
Yeah.
How did you manage to get such a prestigious gig at such a young age?
I really don't know. Charlie Hinkle was one of the biggest announcers in the 60s.
Right.
He got the Hambletonian on radio, NBC. He got the Little Brown Jug on NBC in those days. And he decided he was going to go to California and be the play-by-play announcer for the new AB8 basketball team.
Right.
And he told Hank Thompson at Delaware, Ohio, I can't call the jug this year. And Corwin Nixon, who was the head of the United States Trotting Association, recommended me for the job, and the rest is history.
All right, so taking advantage of your opportunities there, no question about it. Now, you're a guy who, even at your age, I said to you the word retire before, so you left the Meadows in 2019, but you just said to me, I didn't retire. What's that about?
Well, I accepted a job with the Ohio Harness Horsemen Association, and then I turned in my resignation at the Meadows, but they wanted to call it retirement.
All right. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go to Ken with the post-parade for the 8th race, but after that, more with Roger Huston. All right, we're back with Roger Huston, and Raj, we were talking about your race calling career and the Little Brown Jug, and that you're really not retired. Recently, I've heard your race calls at Scioto Downs, the Meadows, Northfield Park, and you said you got some fairs coming up, is that right?
I got, I think it's 16 or 17 county fairs in Ohio, New York, and Virginia. So they start July the 9th in Cortland, Ohio, and sometimes 2 fairs a week.
You know, I love to kid around with you about Goshen Historic Track, where I've been the Grand Circuit race caller for about 20 years. Mm-hmm. And I said, I'm the only guy in the world who has an assistant announcer by the name of Roger Huston. You're going to be calling the races this Friday and Saturday while I'm working here, and then I'll take over the microphone on Sunday on Hall of Fame Day. Tell me a little bit about why you get so excited, even at this stage of your life, to call fair races.
You know, as a kid growing up in Ohio, I started going to the county fairs when I was 3-4 years old. And I truly fell in love with harness racing. I can remember when I was about 9 or 10, sitting in the back row of the grandstand in Urbana, Ohio, and calling the races to the people that were around me. And I just get thrilled with it. I just love it. County fairs is where it's at.
So the fact of the matter is, when you were a young man, did you always want to be a track announcer?
I never dreamed that I'd be a track announcer year-round. I graduated from college, and I was going to be a school teacher.
Right.
And I got the Red Mile in Lexington, Kentucky, the day I got my diploma. So I went to the Red Mile, and then I added Pompano Park, and the rest is history.
Now, obviously, you're still a race caller to this point. What else have you done in your career?
I had a paper route.
Okay.
I carried out groceries in a grocery store. I worked at a FM radio station in Xenia while I was going to college. News director, played the records, had contests on the air and stuff like that. When I really had my first big break at Lexington, I worked at the radio station from 5 to 12 noon. Drove to Lexington, Kentucky, 147 miles, announced 10 races, left there around 10:30 at night, and drive back to Xenia and opened the radio station at 5 a.m. that's how dedicated I wanted to do it, and that is the point where I decided I was going to do it year-round.
Well, listen, it's been a great career, and I think it's pretty safe to say that you've called more races than anybody in history.
Yeah, I think we went over. I think I got the right number: 183,501. Oh, 503.
That's right. You got to include tonight's too.
Tonight, yeah.
How do you keep all those stats? I mean, come on. That sounds like too many.
When I was in high school, I kept stats on professional football, the Cleveland Browns.
Right.
So when I went to college, I was the sports information director at Wilmington College, keeping stats and things. And so it just carried over in my career. When it started, I kept track of every race I announced. And I think the first year I announced 99 races and made $395. I quit counting the money when it started getting up, but I always kept the number of race total.
We got about a minute to go. You're calling the races at Goshen Friday and Saturday. Don't tell me that you're working somewhere else between now and then.
Yeah.
What do you mean now? You going back to Ohio to call some races?
We do something in Ohio called Freshman Focus, talking to trainers about their young horses. And I've got an interview to do Tuesday morning at Scioto Downs in Columbus, Ohio. Drive back to Pennsylvania, get in the car, drive to Goshen.
All right. Well, just remember, Huston, I need you there bright and early on Friday, all right? I need my assistant announcer there on time.
I will be there.
Roger Huston, he'll be at Goshen Historic Track this Friday and Saturday for Hall of Fame weekend. Rog, thanks so much for spending a couple of minutes with us.
Always a pleasure, Dave.
Let's go to Kemp.
You want to be my agent?
I think I've already managed to do a couple of things for you, so always great. Roger Huston, everybody, thanks so much for being with us. Race is coming to the gate as we kick off the 20-cent Pick 5, the second one of the night. Let's go to the top of the stands and our Hall of Fame announcer, Ken Warkentin.